right, good morning. We're back out in the shop. It's another cool morning in North Carolina. Got a fire going. Getting ready to take off this taper attachment, or tackle it anyway. I've studied it for a while and believe, I'm pretty confident in how it comes off. We have some bolts, some socket cap screws that bolt into the back of the saddle, and the cross slide here and here, so I think it drops down and away. I'm not quite sure how the cross slide screw comes out. It has a one of those washers where you bend the tabs over, not a castle nut, but anyway, that I believe that comes off and it slides out of the back, and the lead screw will come out the front. So, the cross slide screw. So I think we're gonna spray everything down with PB Blaster. Then I'm going to loosen all this up and see if it comes loose. Take this nut off on the end. I don't believe there's nothing in here. It looks like bushings on either end besides this nut. So I'm pretty sure that, I'm not quite sure how this taper attachment works, but it looks like it has a bushing on either end of this centerpiece, and as the carriage slides down, it just pushes this and it brings the cross slide in and out. That's what I'm assuming. So, after looking at it, I believe that's how it is. So let me spray everything down, dig out all the crap that's inside these socket cap screws, and then I'm going to reposition the camera back here and we'll see how tight these suckers are. So hopefully they won't fight me too bad. So we'll be back. Let me reposition the camera. All right. I know it's a little dark. Hopefully this comes out pretty good. The taper attachment, these are the socket cap screws that I was talking about that goes into the back of the saddle. And then we have 4 right here that go into the cross slide. So I think what I'm going to do is take these out, or at least loosen those up. I'll take these out and loosen these up. Take off this encapsulated nut here and take that off. And I'm pretty sure this is just going to slide out this way. So let me gather some more tools. Got my Allen wrenches there. Let me go find me a dead blow and then get me a small screwdriver so I can take that, or at least move those lock rings out of those grooves and take that off. So I'll be right back. Alrighty. All right, I think I have everything I need, so let's get to it. First, let's knock back these rings on this locking nut. See how many there is. Look like it. Yeah, that was it. Well, that came off easy enough. Nothing scary in working on an old lathe or any old machinery and stuff not coming apart a whole lot harder. The last thing I want to do is break something on here and have to replace it or make another one. Let's give it a little more juice here. And we'll continue pecking away at this. You don't want to see this. We'll bring you back. All right. I think I'm down to the last few screws, threads. That's a fine threaded booger. Look like somebody tried to get it off with some time or another, put some kind of pliers on it. There's the nut. Kind of hard to tell. Get it to focus in right quick. The cone side, this is for my benefit more than anybody else's, but in case when I have trouble putting it back together, the cone side went to the front of the lathe. So then it has a star washer that's keyed. So evidently you tightened it up to take all the lash out of this taper attachment. So, and then it has another nut behind it, also cone shape, and it's facing the lock washer again. Of course, it's not locked in. It's keyed, but it doesn't have a Well, I wonder why they did that. Or did that lock washer work both ways and they just didn't bend it over? Huh. Well, either way, it's got two of them on it, so of course out here on the end, the threads are boogered up. 75 years old though. It doesn't surprise me. So, I'm gonna get a pair of pliers. I hate doing this myself, but no, it's not that bad. All right, got the second nut off. And it was cone shaped, went to the washer, so must have had two lock nuts on it, or one was used as a bushing, or wonder why that is. Have to figure it out now. Anyway, so it goes a nut, star washer, and another nut. Then it's got a bushing in here. Oop, nope, it's got a bearing in it. Still spins, but man, it's loose. Probably replace that. So that's those three parts here. Let me lay them right up here so I won't forget where they're at. All right, and then let's see here. We're going to put this stuff up out of the way. So I know where it's at. Grab our hex wrench. What? Well, that's promising right there. Surely they're not all that loose. Well, it is loose. So, that's kind of promising, I reckon. Looks pretty good. Dang. Very loose. PB Blaster's doing its magic, I reckon. I tell you what, I'm just going to loosen them. Take those out of the saddle first. Put these back. I don't want that thing falling. And then we'll see how it goes here. Nope, those are bigger. Let me grab a bigger one. Come on. All right. What's the chances of these being that loose? Ooh. Well, yeah, they're that loose. Jeez. Yeah, that PB Blaster is some good stuff right there. Not gonna lie. Of course, the taper attachment is not gonna let me get bought. There it went. Dang. If only new machinery come apart this easy. Good gosh. Man, the smell of old gear oil and grease and stuff as soon as you take them out. Nope, this one's not going to be that easy. Nope. Wasn't that hard though. I'm really surprised how easy stuff's coming apart. Those right there, those two nuts right there were the hardest thing, and it looks like the end of the shaft boogered up. Like I said, they had all this bound up into a wall, so this is probably the last thing we're going to restore and put back on there. It's missing some pieces and broken pieces and stuff. The screw or this spreader bar here that has the block that attaches to the bed is missing, and you can tell it's broken right here. Somebody did some engineering on this adjusting screw. I don't believe it goes that way. I believe it's a fine adjustment knob for your taper. It's definitely not fine adjusting right now. So, all right, let's keep on with the taper attachment here. So those two are out. Let's just loosen these up and give it a tap with a hammer right quick with a dead blow and see what's going to happen here. Dang. Might have to go in here a little further and look at some other stuff. There might be hidden bolts that I don't know about. Grab my flashlight and take a look. See what I see. I don't see anything. But man, that's an awful big casting to be supported by that. Well, I definitely don't want it to fall. And I don't want it to be supported by just the lead screw. So let's take some stuff apart here. We'll just be careful. Take this out and this out. Let me go get a magnetic tool tray. Be right back. I don't want to lose any of these bolts, so. It still feels like it's fastened pretty well. It's breaking free. Still feels pretty solid. So no, that has to be right here too. All right, let me grab right here. This has to come off with it. So that goes there. That doesn't make any sense. All right, let me figure this out. Do some studying on it. I'll be back. All right. We made a little progress. We got these guides out. Still trying to figure out how to take this completely apart. That comes off. Jeez. You got a bearing in there. Probably have to replace that. The screw, I'm sure, is good. I was hoping this would come off the that casting all by itself, but man, I can't figure out how to get it apart. Either that or it's just that stuck. So let me take this over to the table and then I'll be back. Nice chips in here. So I was hoping not to take this apart piece by piece. I was wanting to take the whole taper attachment off in one go round, but man, I can't figure out how it's attached. Oh, you know what? Those might be some bolt holes right there. That would have been covered up. So let's clean some of this out of here. Let me see if I can figure out how to take any more apart here. I think that's all one piece. No. I think I'll be able to handle it though. Let me get a scratch and gouge here. And let's pick at this. Those might be holes right there. Can't tell what it is. Oh yeah, there we go. That's why I wouldn't move. Had so much crud in it. So if there's one over there, there's probably one over here. Oh, I got the petrified goo in it. So Probably won't be able to get my Allen wrench in there. Have to go find another one. Gosh, all the crud, man. And for reference, the gib here, or not the gib, but the guide here that had the broken screw in it, looking at it from the front, goes on the right-hand side. All right. Sorry about that. My camera card got full, so we're back. I think what we're going to do, though, is I wanted to take this off all in one piece, but I got a couple Allen socket cap screws up in here, and I believe I'm going to have to take this part off, so I might it'd make it easier to get the Allen wrench in there, so, and it would make it lighter since I'm by myself today. So let's continue on taking it apart. It can't be that hard from here. Well, famous last words. Like I sprayed PB Blaster on everything, so hopefully it'll all come apart. That's not bad. This pivot screw, I had to go get the bigger tray too. It was filling up fairly quickly. So that should be the only thing. Just scrape out that. It looks like a big old slotted screwdriver. I got my old chisel here. So I wonder what kind of luck this would be. You reckon it'll turn? Oh yeah, geez. Didn't even have to get behind it. That's my famous last words though. No. Alright, we'll leave that on there then. So, oh, maybe I can get my socket head wrench in there. Where'd that sucker go? Oh. The one time you put it up. So, it ain't gonna fit in that one. Maybe we'll get it in that one. Go ahead and get ready to bear down, hopefully. Oh no, nothing. Nothing. I'm amazed at how easy these things are to break off. Put that up there so I don't poke myself. Surprising me. You might hear my air compressor kick on every once in a while, or the wood stove. Well, it should be about down. It's about 65 in here, so hopefully it's about down because it's getting warm. Alright, find a shorter one. Oh, looky there. I need this for getting the other side off anyway. We'll go ahead and try and see how broke free we can get this one. Give it a little tap. Can you believe that? 75 years and the thing just comes apart. I'm just simply amazed. Simply amazed. How easy that comes apart. Now before I take all these all the way out, I am definitely going to tap on this thing. No, it's coming apart. So, what do you think? A couple 100 pounds? 100 pounds? 50, 80 pounds? Should I try it by myself? No, what the heck. Let's give her a whirl. It's got, there goes a flashlight. Whew, plenty of oil on it, that's for damn sure. This one. Alright. That's the other bolt. So, it has two pins in here. I don't know if they're taper pins or what they are exactly. But, oh lordy. Alright, yeah, that's heavy. We're gonna put it down right here. Much heavier than I thought it was. So, but we got the tape attachment off. So, let me get that sucker over to the table, and we might see if we can break it down a little further, and might go ahead and put it in the tub. I went back and watched some of Brad Jacobs, his basement machine shop guy, or Maple Lane Machinery, I believe now. He showed where he soaked all these parts in Purple Power. So I've got some Purple Power, and I've got a tub I think I'm going to build a little aerator thing on the bottom of it, so out of some black iron pipe or something like that, so I can put all these parts in it and just leave the air on it running, you know, overnight, so at least it bubbles and keeps the solution mixed up. So maybe it'll, you know, help get this stuff off. And they were showing some on his channel of how he just soaks all the parts first. He gets all the crud off and some of the old paint. And if I can do that with just setting it in a tub, or if I can break it down and get it in like a plastic trash can, and then I'll fill it up with purple power, or however much, just cover the parts in the purple power. And then I can do each component like that and not have to worry about mixing up the parts. So I can put the taper attachment and all of its parts in at one time, get it all soaked, get it all decrudded, and then get it on a table. And then, you know, we can go from there and see what it looks like. And, you know, the easier I can make it on myself is what I want to do. So let's go do that. Let me get this over to the table, and then I'll move the camera over to the table, and we'll see what we're going to do. All right, I got it moved to the table. It's what can I say? It's a beast. I mean, there's nothing light on this lathe. Everything has been very, very heavy. But, you know, it's a hoss. It's, you know, the way they built things back in the day. I mean, you're not going to find anything built like this nowadays. It's just, you know, it's just not the way it is. What we're going to do, I think we're going to keep on tearing down this to the smallest components. That way it'll be easier to get into a tub, you know, figure out which size tub I want to buy. A flat tub, or a trash can might work too, you know, plastic trash can, something cylindrical, and figure out how I want to do this little agitation thing. It's not going to hurt. I used to have one years ago. I think I just used a piece of pipe, and I put all my parts and anything that needed to be cleaned like that, I just stick them inside there. And then at the bottom of it, it just had an air chuck. You just plug the thing in and let it gurgle, and it about clean itself. It worked very well. I don't remember what the cleaner was back in the day. It wasn't purple power, you know. I don't know what it is now. So let me go get a wrench right quick. Oh, here's one. Everything else has been loose. Normally don't use a crescent wrench on this stuff, but man, everything has been so loose. It's broken right free. So see, I mean, crazy. I just don't understand how everything is so loose on this thing. You know, something that sat outside for 2 years. It's 75 years old, and all this stuff just comes right off. It's amazing. It amazes me. I mean, I don't understand, but I'm not going to complain right now. So we're just going to take all this stuff out, put it in the parts bin. That's crazy how, oops, that came out. Did you see that? Get my finger out of there. So probably a flat bottom casting a flat bottomed tote would probably be very good for this kind of stuff, because this thing right here weighs a ton. That part right there. And it does have 2 pins on it, 2 guide pins. And that is pretty good shape. Got a little rust down in here, probably surface rust. So we'll check that out. I'm definitely not going to leave it laying up like that though. Let me get that on its side. We'll see how this goes. I might have turned out in that radio scanner a little bit. Alright, need to get me a spanner, or whatever I have. See if I'm getting that off. Luckily that won't be too much of a pain in the butt. Alright, let me go grab something and be right back. Alright, we're back. Went and made a quick little spanner wrench. All I did was take a piece of old square tubing that I had laying in the back of the shop, and drilled and tapped it for a 1/4 20 bolt. Spaced it 1.5 inches apart. You know, do what you got to do. I don't have a wrench, so this is what I did. So we're going to try it again. Hopefully this thing comes apart. So hopefully my measurements are right. Well, that fits good. So let's flip it back up. That ain't wanting to come out. So we definitely want to take it down further. So we'll probably get back on that and figure out what we need to do there. But that's all the taper attachment in pieces. Everything looks good. It's just gummed up, you know, bearings and stuff. I'm sure I'm going to replace all that. And a washer. Or that might be the end of the bearing. Who knows? Who knows? No telling. It looks like the end of the bearing. One that's still on the rod. So, alrighty. That ought to do it for this episode anyway, or this part. We'll get her in the bath and cleaned up, and when we get that figured out, I'll bring you back and let you look at that. So, until next time, we'll get on the probably take the tailstock off. Take the tailstock off, and then we'll get on that saddle and the apron and get all that stuff taken off. So, one part at a time. That's all we can do. See ya.